Okay, guys, firstly, quickly, can anyone hear me? Everyone hear me clearly? Can I have a yes, no, no, not yet? Anything in the comment section, please? Everyone can see me, everyone can hear me, guys. I need an answer. Okay. Okay. Thank you there. Thank you there. So, hi guys, a very good afternoon to all of you all. Thanks for joining us in the US CMA webinar that we have today from Zell. Myself, Ashlesha, I am the senior counselor over here at Zell, and I counsel students India and abroad as well. With me, we have our panelist Dhruv, who will be answering to all of your questions in the Q&A box that you see above. So, you have any doubts, any queries in regards to the USCMA course? Of course, we'll be solving a lot of doubts. We'll be solving a lot of queries in the course of the webinar. But for now, if you all have any doubts, any queries, the Q&A box is completely open to you. Yeah. We'll see if we can have any more attendees with us. So we'll be taking a small, say, we'll be waiting for like say 1 minute and then we'll be starting the webinar again. We're just waiting for too many people to join in. So since they haven't, we'll have to wait for another 1 minute. So please stay tuned and we'll be continuing the webinar very shortly. Okay, perfect. So here we start with the CMA US course. What is this webinar all about? What are you all going to be learning in the webinar? So the very important thing that all of us over here are going to learn is what is the CMA USA course? How is it going to benefit us in the academic long run that we have? Three, what are the charges that we incur? What is the investment that's going to happen in during the US CMA course? Apart from that, academically speaking, how is the USCMA course different from the different other courses that we have in the market? What is this accounting? What is this finance? What is this management accounting? Anything and everything with bits is what we are going to be learning in the course of the webinar. Along with that, we are also going to be telling you as to with a CMA USA course, with a CMA USA degree, what all are the scope, what are the expected salary packages, what all are the expected, I would say, designations that you'll be looking up to once you complete the US CMA course. So moving on to the next slide, we have something called as the webinar overview, in which we'll be covering up a very important points, what we'll be covering in the course of the webinar. Like we have the very first and a very important point called as course overview. What is it that's going to be studied in the USCMA? What is it that is the accounting part? What is the finance part? How do we see the technological part? What is the analytical part? What is it practical or is it theoretical? Anything and everything related to the USCMA webinar is what we're going to study in the course of the webinar. Second thing, very important, is the eligibility. Who all are the people who are eligible to go forward with the USCMA course? Is it people like you and me who are graduates? Is it undergraduates? If undergraduates, then who all? And just a 10th standard student, can I go ahead with the USCMA course? We'll be discussing about the eligibility of the USCMA course in detail in this webinar as well. Third, very important, what all is it that you all are going to be studying in the course of the webinar and the USCMA course? As in, what is the curriculum? How are the exams? When do we give the examination? What is the examination window? When can I prepare myself? How much time does it take for preparation? All the questions in this category are being answered in the third section of the webinar overview. Of course, fourth will be if Zell helps with the overall advantage and the learning, the teaching of the USCMA course, how does Zell do it? What will be the job profiles? that you will be looking up to once you complete with the US CMA course, and how does placements, very important, how does placements happen as well. So right from the teaching, right from the coaching, right from the test series, mock series, to study material, to placement assistances, salary package, eligibility, everything will be covered in the course of the webinar. So I would all of you all to just stay tuned, and we'll be covering up one topic at a time. And of course, you see some number at the bottom. That is a number to directly contact us if you all have any doubts, any queries. If you all want to get admitted in the US CMA course that Zell provides you with, that is the number you have to reach out to. If you all want to ask fees at Zell, if you all want to directly talk to our US CMA experts on a call, over a call, or you can always visit us. We have offices all over India. So yes, that is the number you can reach out to us on, and you can directly call up us. Moving on will be course overview, a very important topic as to academically speaking, theoretically speaking, what all will be there. Then the US CMA course that will be covered over here. Starting with the course overview, firstly, all of us over here have, I think, there are a crowd of people who might be having all the knowledge about the US CMA course. There is a crowd over here who might as well just not just be so much aware about the US CMA course. There might be a crowd over here who has nothing to no idea about the US CMA course, and some mediocre crowd who has, let's say, a 50 or a 60% idea about the course. But here we'll be covering to you everything, like from the basic, everything will be covering to you what all goes in the US CMA. Firstly, very important, this qualification is a globally recognized course. What do I mean when I say globally recognized? This course, coming from the US body, has recognition in more than 140 plus countries, including India. Okay, does that mean the course does not have quite a reputation in India and it just is available for the abroad bodies? No, it's not like that. There are multinational companies in India who specially hire only the US CMA people. There are companies like the Big Fours, the Big Sixes who hire US CMA people. Right, so over here, your US CMA makes up a very important deal, because this 6 to 9 months qualification is going to be a good entry point where you look up to US CMA as a professional qualification who can get you inside multinational companies. Like the extensive opportunity in India as well as the extensive opportunity in abroad. There are two different things that look up to the US CMA course. One, becoming a globally recognized course. Obviously, it has reputation in India as well as abroad. Basically, this course is like you doing something coming from an abroad body. You get the certificates from abroad, you get a degree from abroad, but you're giving the papers in India itself. And it has recognition in India as much as it has recognition abroad. So it's like you doing something on a global level without even traveling to the US. There you save up another type of money also. Plus, this course has extensive opportunities also. Opportunities not only in India, but in abroad bodies is what we're talking about over here. A short-term duration course, say 6 to 9 months, is all what it takes for you to be completely done with the US CMA course, as it has only 2 papers for you to go ahead with. One paper is into accounting, one paper is into finance. You clear both the papers and you become a US CMA. That's all it takes. Correct? Talking about the flexibility of the course, of course, US CMA course is very flexible in what senses? You can decide whenever you want to go ahead with the paper. You can decide which field or which window you want to go ahead with the paper in. If you want to give your part 2, which is under finance first, or if you want to go for part 1, which is under accounting first. Now, that completely depends upon student to student. But if you are looking for something which is to be done in the short-term qualification, and if you are a 12th pass student, you can completely go ahead with the US CMA course. Plus, exams are on demand. Now, what do I mean when I say on-demand based examination? You prepare in a particular window, you go ahead and write that particular paper in the same window. You can select your attempts. You can select your month as to which attempt do you want to go ahead and write the paper in. It's rather not like you have to write a stipulated paper in one attempt only. It's not like that. There are too many people as well also who are studying both papers, part 1 and part 2 together, giving it up in the same window itself. Now, that depends upon student to student as to which window are you looking forward to go ahead with. Of course, while talking about the flexibility, we should not forget one very important point, that the course can be completed in anywhere between 6 to 8 months, 6 to 9 months of time. But there are people who might take 1 year, say 1.5 year, 2 year to complete the course, and that's completely normal. Okay. So here, guys, if you have any doubts, any queries, we'll be having a small Q&A section at the box over here, or else we'll be having a small interactive section at the end of the webinar. So stay tuned if you all want to directly ask me any questions, and I'll be unmuting you and we can ask. Very important is the eligibility. Now over here, what do we see? Who all are the people who are eligible to write in the US CMA course? Now over here, when we talk about exam eligibility, there are two things to see. One is, are you a grade 12 student? Have you passed your 12th standard? Are you an undergraduate student who's pursuing currently the first year, the second year, the third year of any degree? Or are you a postgraduate who has currently studied BCOM, studied BMS, studied MCOM, and now is looking forward to an MBA or an MCOM, and now also wants to pursue the US CMA course? In all the three criteria, you are completely eligible to go ahead and write the US CMA paper. Okay. Anyone who comes from any stream after 12th standard, be the arts, be the commerce, be the science, everyone is eligible to write the US CMA course. Over here, if you see anyone who's a graduate, say who's just completed their graduation, be the BCOM, be the BMS, be the BAF, be the financial markets, anything. Even if you are, say, an undergraduate who's pursuing anything into science, like say a BCA or an MCA, anything. So anyone who is a 12th pass student coming from any stream is in short eligible to write the US CMA course. Correct? It's very essential for people who start in the US CMA course early, because it's a little lesser expensive when you start the course early as compared to you becoming a postgraduate or becoming a graduate and then you starting the course. Now, there are people who have completed the BCom but also want to study something like a professional qualification, who want it into a shorter term, who go for the US CMA course. Of course, when we talk about postgraduates, people who have already done their MCOM, people who have already done their MBA are also people who pursue the US CMA course, because when they are working, they need something of a global level, of a global qualification. At that point, also we can ask for like a hike, or for that matter, a switch into a multinational company. At that point, they seek for specializations, wherein the US CMA courses are very much renowned one, very much sought after. So yeah, you can look up to the US CMA course if you fall under that category as well. Moving ahead. Now, when we talk about the exam eligibility, there's something which is very important, like the certification eligibility of US CMA course also. Now, once you complete with the US CMA course, who all are there who are going to be eligible to pursue the US CMA course and the certification? Now, what certification is this? This certification is simple. This is like you having a degree of you pursuing part 1, clearing part 1, and then you getting the certification of the US CMA course. Very simple with the part 2 part also. You pass the part 2, you get the certificate of part 2. Now, these part 1 and part 2 certificates come directly from the IMA body of the US. Correct? There is a body which is Institute of Management Accounts, the IMA body, which is situated in the US, who conducts the US CMA examinations all over the world. This body releases your certificates. This body releases your license, which is directly delivered to your doorstep or even emailed to you. Correct? Now, there are 3 criteria for the certification, and there is 2 criteria for the licenses. Please don't mix both of them, guys. These are 2 different terms. We'll be firstly covering up the certification part, then we'll go to the licensing part. Okay? Certification eligibility is very simple. When do you get your certificate of you clearing the US CMA Part 1 or US CMA Part 2 for that matter? For this, if you are eligible to write the examination, all you have to do is just apply to the university saying I have completed the part 1. When you get your results, when you get your mark sheet, your certificate is being sent to your mail. Okay, this certificate for part 1 is different. This certificate for part 2 is different. Correct? Every student who passes their part 2 or every student who passes their part 1 gets this certificate. Okay, this certificate is used as a mark sheet as well to show to your companies whenever you are saying going for a job opportunity or anything that you've completed a particular sector like a part 1 or for that matter a part 2. Coming to the license eligibility, now certification is being taken by everyone and anyone who are undergraduates, who are postgraduates, everyone needs certification. But licensing is very, very important. You need to be someone who can use the US CMA tag in front of your name, who can boast the US CMA tag in front of your name, and also be a member, a valuable member of the IMA body. For that, there are 2 types of criteria. For the license of US CMA, it's very important for you to be having a completed graduation certificate. Okay. And there is a 2 years of work experience needed. This work experience can be anywhere before US CMA or after US CMA, but have to be completely into the field of accounting and finance only. Now you'll ask me over here, work experience for undergraduate students, is it valid? Yes, of course it's valid when you go for the US CMA course. You complete your US CMA course in the first year. And the second year and the third year of your degree, you start studying. Okay, or for that matter, you start your work experience. That work experience will be valued while you are completing your graduation to go forward with the US CMA course. Okay, at that point you get your license as well, but it's very important for you to have the initial 2 years of work experience only and only in the field of accounting and finance. Correct? Now, in the beginning, when you complete your 7 years after completing your US CMA, to produce the necessary graduation documents and work experience. Now, this is for people who have started the US CMA after the 12th standard. They get in their hand 7 years to complete US CMA and to also acquire the license, to complete the 2 years work experience and also complete the graduation as well. But for postgraduates who are people already graduated, or for that matter, people who are already working, have no such rule. They can apply for the US CMA license right after they complete the US CMA if they are already having the 2 years of work experience within themselves. Correct? Now, rewinding these points again to just give you a review. If you are in the first year, you complete the US CMA course in the first year, you can get the mark sheets of part 1 and part 2 as soon as you complete the US CMA part 1 and part 2 respectively. When do you look for a license? Once you have completed your graduation and you have a 2 years of work experience, only and only then do you look for a license as a US CMA. But does that stop you from working in your undergraduation? No, nothing like that. If a student has completed the US CMA in the first year, or for that matter the second year, or for that matter the third year, even if he does not have the graduation certificate, he can go ahead and have his work experience done. For which at Zell also we help you all with 100% placement assistance. We'll cover that point in the course of the webinar. Okay, very important part. What is that going to be studied in the US CMA course? What is it going to be in the part 1? I've yelled a lot about part 1, part 2, part 1, part 2, but part 1, part 2, hai kya, is what we are going to be studying over here. Okay, so starting with part 1, it's financial planning, performance, and analytics. Can anyone of you all tell me as to what does it come to your mind for the very first time when you study something like a part 1, which is financial planning, performance, and analytics? Or have you all, any one of you all seen these subjects before? Okay, so I see a lot of people over here who have already pursued their MBA, for that matter, who are currently graduating. I think that's for the part 1 or the accounting part. So you all need to understand very clearly, your part 1 is going to be completely into the field of accounting only. As you all can see the subjects over here, this is merely and corely related to core accounts. Okay. Now, we'll be moving into each subject very shortly, explaining to you as to what does each subject mean, how much weightage does each subject have, and how many MCQs can you expect out of each subject. So firstly, starting with external financial reporting decisions. What do you all understand with EFRD? As a US CMA, when you look up to the accounting side, you'll be tallying a lot of balance sheets of different companies. Okay. External financial reporting decisions teaches you as to, based on the market scenario, based on market say analysis, how do you tally different reports of different companies and see what profit are they incurring in the next quarter, or for that matter the next year. Now, this subject has 15% weightage, which means in the MCQ section of the paper, there are going to be 15% of questions based on external financial reporting decisions. Moving ahead to planning, budgeting, and forecasting. Now, I like to give an example over here. I always give my example to all my students. Now, let's assume you are someone who is launching a new company. I hope everyone likes chocolate, so we'll take the chocolate for example. If in case I am someone from Cadbury and I want to launch a particular new chocolate in the company or in the market for that matter, something of a caramel base, which I think everyone likes. Now, over here, the planning of the delivery, or for that matter, the manufacturing of the chocolate, plus the budgeting as to what can be the perfect price for the chocolate to be at, so that everyone, like from the poor to the middlemen to the richest, can afford it. And what can be the forecasted revenue or the forecasted profit that you can expect. That is what technically you study in the planning, budgeting, and forecasting of the US CMA course part 1. How to plan a particular market analysis, how to budget it so that everyone is the affordable range, how to forecast the revenue generation for the coming quarter or the coming year is what you'll be studying in the planning, budgeting, and forecasting sector of the US CMA course, having a 20% weightage. So you can see almost it is one of the maximum weightages you have in the part 1. This subject has 20% weightage in your paper. Moving ahead to performance management, as the name suggests, this I would say this chapter, or for that matter, this subject will teach you how to do performance marketing evaluation of a particular product which is already launched, or for that matter, a particular company which is already in the big fours or the big sixes. Now, over here, as a US CMA, you will be handling a lot of companies together. Okay. How do we evaluate performance on the market basis of each company in a very different way is what you'll be studying in the performance management part, which is again the very third important topic of part 1, having almost 15-20% weightage here and there. Okay. Fourth, very important subject, cost management. You all must have read about cost management or heard about cost management a million or zillion times. But what is cost management? Like, what does it actually mean? It's very simple. It's nothing but how do we dilute a particular say company, or for that matter market evaluation, or for that matter a revenue generation to be done for a particular costing of a company. As a cost management, it's your responsibility to make profits eventually very much similar, or for that matter a very much I would say all the points that you need to be having in the balance sheet, everything should take you to profit and not loss. So how do you decide on having the cost management done for a particular company? That is your role as a cost manager. Okay. Fifth, very important, internal controls. As someone who is a part of a multinational company, a US CMA is the one who will be regulating a lot of internal controls. You'll be seeing the market, you'll be seeing the analysis, you'll be seeing the costing. Everything will be in your hands, and all you have to do is just generate really good reports, give it to your seniors, and then you can also expect them to have like another sought after view, or they can also tell you as to how can this be something else. So for that matter, if something is at a 20%, how can this be a 50% or a 70% moving ahead? That is also what you can learn into internal controls, having a 15% weightage, which means out of all the MCQs in the paper, 15% will be based on internal controls. Okay. Last and the very important topic is technology and analytics. You all must have heard a lot about business analytics, data analytics, this, that. Technology and analytics is nothing but you need to know as a US CMA how to do report generation, how to make good, attractive reports. Technology is what you'll be using Power BI tools for. You'll be studying a little bit of a business or a data analytics over here. And that is how a combined topic of technology and analytics is what you'll be studying, because you'll be doing a lot of report generation, because you'll be doing a lot of market risk strategy analysis. Again, that also has a 15% weightage, so that can't be like neglected. So yeah, these are the 6 different chapters you'll be studying. All these 6 chapters will be making your part 1 of the US CMA. we'll be taking if you all have any questions in the Q&A box. Please hold all the questions you have in the Q&A section, because my colleague over here, Dhruv, is there ready to answer all the questions you all have. Now, moving to the part 2, it's strategic financial management. Now, all of y'all over here must be thinking कि financial management के अंदर क्या आता है? Is it very similar to what we studied in CA? Is it very similar to what is the curriculum for MBA Finance? Is it very similar to CFA? I will be telling you as to how different is it from all the three, because here it's quite easier to study. One thing you need to understand over here is all your papers are going to be based on MCQs only. Okay, so the easier it is to grasp MCQs, the more practical knowledge is what you'll be acquainted to over here. Okay, now when we study about financial statement analysis having a 20% weightage, as the name suggests over here, you will be studying a lot of financial statements of different companies as a US CMA. How to make the proper tally, how do we do a proper reconciliation of all the different reports and margin profit moving ahead is what your job will be as a US CMA, and that is what you'll be studying in this chapter as well. Corporate finance is something like, since you all will be a part of a multinational company, how does different companies manage the corporate? What goes under a corporate finance? Is it debt, depreciation, sales, for that matter, everything in regards to corporate? How does the corporate work in the finance section is what you'll be studying in this chapter, having a 20% weightage again in the US CMA part 2. Decision analysis, as the name suggests, as a US CMA, you will be making a lot of decisions based on reports, based on revenue generation. How do you do that so that your company only faces profits and not loss is what comes under the decision analysis part of the US CMA course. Moving to risk management, as the name suggests, a lot of people here must be already aware as to what is a risk management. Now, to give you a small example over here, the 1992 scam could have been, for that matter, abandoned if people knew how to do risk management at that point. Risk management is nothing but you preventing something from happening so that it does not cause a major loss to your economy. Be it about frauds, be it about bank statements, be it about, for that matter, in online, like a cyber security fraud as well. Anything and everything that covers the risk in a particular market situation is what you'll be studying into risk management. It's prevention and it's cure. Again, that is also having a 10% weightage. Moving to investment decisions. So there is a very interesting portfolio manager position over here. Once you complete a US CMA, a lot of people over here must be going to portfolio management. Now, what does a portfolio manager do? He handles a lot of portfolios of different companies, of different individuals who are multi-millionaires, multi-rich. How to do investments so that they only face profits and not loss. Should we invest into mutual funds? Should we invest into stocks, shares, trades, brokers, or for that matter, bonds? How do we move ahead with this? This is what you'll be studying into investment decisions, because I believe someday or the other, everyone loves a commission-based job. So portfolio manager is that one kind of a job. We'll be moving into job-related roles, moving ahead in the webinar as well. But just to give you like a brief idea, investment decisions is someone, investment decider is someone who can make the particular investment in such a way that after 1 year, even if you see, it just gives you profit and not a loss. Professional ethics is, I think, a theoretical base of a subject over here, just how to behave in a corporate. For that matter, what are the corporate laws that you should, really go up to, because someday or the other, all of y'all are going to be a part of a corporate. So that's how professional ethics teaches you as to, it's completely of a theory. So if you see, the part 2 is a little easier for you to crack than the part 1 part for the US CMA course. I believe there are some questions over here. Hadi Ahmed, would you like to ask me anything? Should I unmute you? Yes, Hadi, please ask me whatever you doubt you had.
Yeah, so I was after completion of CMA,
Correct.
I'm pursuing the CPA course. So what are the
Okay.
benefits and exemptions I'll receive?
Have you completed the US CMA course?
No, I'm just planning because I am a graduate and I have a 4 years experience in Indian accounting and US accounting as well.
Okay, great. And you want to go ahead now with the US CMA course?
Correct. And after that, I'm planning to do the CPA as a like
Okay.
schools like that one.
Okay, not an issue. Dhruv, are you there over here? Would you like to take up this question?
Yeah, sure. So
Thank you.
after you complete your US CMA, you are eligible to work in 140 plus countries, as Ashlesha said, right? But there are no exemptions for anyone who has done US CMA in CPA. So you get benefit of post accounting knowledge from US CMA, and you get a knowledge of pre-accounting from US CPA. So you have both that combined knowledge with you, and you are eligible to work in any criteria, any field in the international accounting. So that is your expertise, what you built through.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, man.
Okay, moving on. Now, this is very important, okay? What will be there in the paper as to you'll be studying your part one, of course, you'll be studying your part two, but how is your paper going to be like? What is it going to be there in the paper? What is the paper pattern like? How many hours? What is the passing? Everything over here will be covering in the exam basics. Now, all of you all know over here there are two papers to give. One is into accounting, one is into finance. These two papers you can plan together, or these two papers you can give in two different exam windows as well. Okay, but your paper for part one, but your paper for part two will be 4 hours each. Okay, now when you go for your paper will be planned in such a way that under part one or under part two, you have 100 MCQs and two case study based questions that you have to answer. Under 100 MCQs, there is no negative marking as well. So comparatively, that makes it easier for you to clear as well. Okay. And the case study based questions, you will be given a proper case study. You have to read the case study, you have to analyze the case study, and then answer the questions given below. Okay. Your part one is going to be 100 MCQs and two case study based questions. Your part two is also going to be the same. But for each, you'll be having 4 hours as your time limit to clear part one as well as part two. Okay. Moving to the passing marks. Now, over here, each MCQ will carry 4 marks. So that makes 4 into 100 is equals to 400 marks of MCQs and 100 marks for case study based questions. So you have two case study based questions, 50-50 each. That makes it 100 marks for case study based questions. Together combined, your part 1 is out of 500 marks, your part 2 is out of 500 marks. Globally, if you see, you need 72% and above to clear part 1 or part 2, which is 360 plus. Okay, 360 plus in part 1, 360 plus in part 2. Out of 500 marks is what you need to get cleared from the US CMA course. Okay, for you to be completely done with the US CMA course, that is your passing marks. But for that matter, you have 4 hours of your examination as well. Globally, if you see about the success rate or the pass rate for the US CMA course, it's anywhere between 50 to 60% now. But at Zell, we are proud to announce we've always had the passing percentage to be anywhere between 85 to 90% for both part 1 as well as part 2. Too many reasons to look up to it as, because one is we have a very limited batch size. Two is we believe in giving the grassroots level of training. Three, there are n number of doubt solving sessions. We give you recordings for every live lecture. Everything just be there on your platter at your desk. So you don't need to go anywhere else for. So Zell can be like a good one-stop shop for all your US CMA solutions and needs. Moving ahead to where all can you give these examinations? So there are 6 different exam windows in total to give your part 1 as well as give your part 2. If you see from the starting of the year, you have January, February. If you see somewhere in between of the year, you have May, June. And if you see at the end of the year, you have September, October, as your 6 different exam windows to give US CMA part 1 and part 2. Now over here, you can select if you want to go ahead with any window for part 2. You can select any window for part 1, Or you can plan one window in which you can give your part 1 and part 2 together as well. It completely depends upon you. Okay, clear? Any doubts, any queries, you guys? With the attempts, with the time limit, with the questions, examination, anything? Okay, moving ahead to finally as to what will Zell offer you. Okay, now over here, from your training, from your coaching, from your teaching, your test series, your mock series, your study material, everything from our end will be provided to you. Okay, as I said before, Zell is going to be your one-stop shop solution for all the US CMA needs. Okay, be the training for the entire course, be the certification eligibilities, be the recordings, be the qualified experts. I'll be covering up to each point now. Training for the entire course, obviously, it takes 6 to 9 months for you to be completely trained from our end for the US CMA course for both part 1 as well as part 2. Okay, so we provide you, of course, with part by part coaching, but what we sought after or what we look up to is the training for the entire course for each individual for both part 1 as well as part 2. Now, this can take anywhere between 6 to 9 months of time for us to be completely done with the course so that you completely get prepared. And if you choose to go for an attempt in between, it's your choice. You can do so, but we can help you with that as well. Now, what Zell does over here is we train you with live online interactive classes. We have classes from Monday to Friday, as well as we have classes on Saturdays and Sundays. You can select any one of the two that you are comfortable with, timing wise, and go ahead with our live classes. Now, these rates start from 3 hours per day to 4 hours per day, depending upon which batch are you joining. But there will be a grassroots level of training given to you, right from what is part 1's knowledge to part 2's knowledge to part 2, part 1, everything will be provided to you by our end. Now, what do we mean by we have CMA qualified faculty? Now, our faculties who we have chosen, we have such gems with us who have already completed the US CMA course. Okay, these will be your faculties who are currently having the exposure, having the corporate exposure of the US CMA course. They are already studied. They have already studied with the US CMA course. They're already working as US CMAs now. And these will be your expert faculties who we have on panel with us for you to be completely knowledgeable and completely adversed with the US CMA knowledge. As I specified before, we have weekdays, Monday to Friday training, and we have weekends, Saturdays, Sundays also. In fact, we have a Saturdays and Sundays batch started from today. Monday to Friday started from the Monday, which is the 30th of January. So hurry up if you all have any doubts, any queries, Q&A box is open for you. And you have this number also at the end. If you all want to register right away, we are here to help you up with. And if you're looking for any discounts also with us, say the training fees, if you're looking for IMA discount, I'll come to that in the course of the webinar. That is the number you can reach out to. Now, 100% placement assistance. Once you complete with the US CMA course, obviously we help you with placements into multinational companies like the Big Fours, there are Big Sixes who are networked with us. We have Anand Rathi, we have Motilal Oswal, we have eClerics, we have something into the field of business analytics, business consulting as well. So over here, if in case these are the fields that you are interested to look up to, we can help you all with placement assistance. We can get in-house placement assistance from our end as well. But in the starting salary package for a fresher is what you can expect anywhere between 4.5 to 5 lakhs. This can go up to 7 to 8 lakhs depending upon what is the field that you are choosing for, what is the growth plan that you have, and we can also help you with all of that. Now, registration support over here means that we can help you with the IMA body registration support as well. Because Zell is a platinum partner of the IMA body, all of our students over here get certain discounts when they pay the IMA body fees. That is to be strictly paid in dollars. Okay. So if you all want to know as to how much discount do we get, please ring out the number and we'll be here to help you. Or you can also get back to your counselors if in case you all have any doubts, any queries. If you all are in touch with any of the US CMA counselors as well, they'll be the first person to reach out to you at the end of the webinar. But you all can also go back and reach out to them if in case you all have any discount related criteria in your mind. Another reason to choose US CMA and Zell is, of course, when we say about the 85 to 90% passing rate, we mean it because there is a very limited batch size what we focus on. We believe in quality over quantity. So for that matter, whenever we have a very small batch size, we can focus on them like babies. We can like go it with the utmost knowledge, whatever you need from the basic, everything will be clear to you. Now we provide you with adequate number of test series and mock series, before which we don't even let you register to the US CMA course. So until and unless you complete all of our test series and mock series, until and unless our student mentors think that yes, you are now ready to go ahead and go forward with the US CMA course, we don't even help you with the examination. So firstly, we want you to be completely ready, get ready with the US CMA material, or for that matter, the studies. Give your test series, give your mock series very regularly, and then go ahead and go for the paper. And only then do we help you with the registrations part, because firstly, evaluations happen at our end, and then can we help you with the examinations part. Now, state-of-the-art learning management system is something, this is like a software that Monday to Friday people from us get for 2 years, and Saturdays and Sundays people will be getting for 1.5 years. This portal has everything: your test series, your mock series, your doubt solving sessions, your schedule for the US CMA, which is happening at Zell. You have your recordings uploaded over here. You have mind maps, you have quizzes, everything with regards to the US CMA material will be with this state-of-the-art learning management system that you have, that you get from Zell once you complete your whole admission process. 250 plus hours of integrated learning. Now, for something like a professional qualification like US CMA, it's very much important for you to be focused. And with a smaller batch size is how we get the focus out of you, because this will be a like interactive class that we are having right now. This class will be as interactive as possible, so that if in case you all have any doubts, any queries, without shy, you should be going ahead and asking the faculty whichever doubt you need to be solved. For that matter, if you want to explain a particular concept again, you can go ahead in that interactive classroom, just ask the faculty freely, which is why we have the 250 plus hours of integrated learning. And the limited batch size is what we focus on. I can't stop hammering about the limited batch size that we have, because Monday to Friday is initially a very small crowd. Saturday, Sundays is also like somewhere between, because there are a lot of working professionals who add up. So there is a crowd on Saturdays and Sundays, but that is also very limited as compared to the global crowd that we have for the US CMA course. And last but not the least, very important is the one-to-one mentorship. What is this one-to-one mentorship? Every student at Zell gets a student mentor who is a personal, I can say this like a person of contact over here at Zell. Any doubts, any queries that you all have as students, you can go ahead and reach out to the US CMA student mentor that everyone student gets over here. Right from your onboarding to you completing the US CMA course, from your degree, your license, your placement assistance, your certificates, everything will be taken care of by the US CMA student mentor that you have over here at Zell. Okay. Any doubts, any queries, you guys? Okay, now moving to Zell's global reach. As you already know, Zell is, of course, the brand, a name in India, in Mumbai, in Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, you name it, and we're present over there. But over here, when we talk about Zell's global reach, not only do we cater to Indian students, but we are very proud of announcing that we have a bunch of international students also who have been with us. Be it from the UK, the US, Canada, Germany, Singapore, even Gulf countries for that matter, Delhi, Gulf, Oman, Riyadh, Syria for that matter. We have a lot of students coming from this crowd as well. So not only is Zell a proud partner in India, but we've also spread our wings globally. So what are you all waiting for? Come join us. Moving ahead to the fee structure, very important. How do we say balance all the fees? Now, let me tell you one thing which is very important. For that matter, when you see for US CMA, of course, in education, people do see investments over that matter. How much money is it going to burn off my pockets? But US CMA is the shortest professional qualification with the minimalist burn is what you'll be feeling in the pockets, because this is one of the cheapest professional qualifications also. This is barely an investment for 1 full year that you'll be doing. And it's not much also. Because if you see for students over here, there are two categories. Firstly, students and professionals. Moving on with students, students are someone who is completed their 12th standard and who is currently pursuing undergraduation, be it year 1, year 2, or year 3. If you are in undergraduation, you fall under student category. But the moment you write your last paper of the last sem, you fall under the professional category. Professionals is someone who is a working professional who has completed their graduation, and everyone of this crowd who is not a student anymore comes under professional. Now there's a slight catch over here. People who are pursuing MCOM and MBA from a distance learning, okay, from like an open university, are all falling under professional category. Whereas people or students who are pursuing their MBA or their MCOM full time fall under the student category. Okay, so over here students get I would say like a advantage over here, because here students do not pay the application fee of almost $150. That's $15 that's saved over here. Okay, so that the fee structure that you see on the screen is charged when, if in case, as I told you before, Zell is a platinum partner of the IMA body. Any one of y'all or all of y'all people who want to come with us for the US CMA course, we will be doing your registrations on our behalf. Okay, so that makes a very much clear idea. So as to if in case you'll have to fall under the student category, you'll have to pay two types of fees under registration. One is your entrance and second is your IMA membership fee. But if you fall under the professional category, you have to pay three types of fees, which is your entrance fee, which is your IMA membership fee, and also a mandate fee of application, which is for $15 or something. On the screen, the prices that you see are being charged when you go with Zell. If you go without Zell, there's a different fee structure. Exam fees per part is to be paid only and only 1 month prior to your examination, to be strictly paid in dollars again. Okay. Now over here, to sum it up, say let's assume I am someone who is under the student category. Okay. For me, my registration fees will be inclusive of my entrance fees and the IMA membership fee. At the time of the examination for part 1, I'll be paying the examination for part 1 fees. At the time of examination fee for part 2, I'll be paying the examination fee for part 2 fees. That's how my expenditure is going to be, say, 3 times divided into 3 different stages. Okay. If I fall under the professional category, I have to pay a registration fee, again exam fee for part 1 and exam fee for part 2 as well. But there'll be a slight difference in my registration fees. Over here, I'll have to be paying 3 types of registration: entrance, membership, as well as the IMA application fee. Okay, clear? Any doubts? Now over here, how does Zell make it simple for you? We'll be getting 3 different discount coupons, even if you are a student and even if you are a professional, which is why your entire registration support is being given to you by us. We will be filling up the form for you, so don't worry about that. For students, first coupon will be levied for your exam for your registration. Second coupon will be levied for exam fee for part 1. Third coupon will be levied for exam fee for part 2. It is the same for professionals, it's just that the amount differs when it is a student and a professional. Whereas a student completely having the registration for the examination, for entrance, everything under anywhere between 65 to 70,000. A professional over that at that point has to spare anywhere between 80 to 85,000. That is the only difference if you'll come up with Zell. Or if you'll go individually, the same fees without any discount coupon will be anywhere between 1.5 to 2 lakhs for you guys. Okay, so why do you all even want to pay so much? Come with us. Again, whenever the fees are in the dollars rate, they change as per what is the global dollar rate. So the approximation that I gave you right now, just assume it's just like an approximation. It's not like a fixed price, because at the time of checkout only, once we enter it, your discount coupons only, then we know that what is going to be the pricing. Now, once you study the US CMA course with us, what is it going to be like? How am I going to be working? How is it going to be beneficial for me? Okay, there are 2-3 different job criteria, so for that matter, job profiles when you can look up to as a US CMA. if we take up anything into account, okay, you can go up to cost management, you can go up to cost accounting, you can go up to asset management, you can go up to mergers and acquisitions. These are really good high paying jobs. Okay, if in case you are someone who loves finance, who wants to go into revenue generation, revenue model, you can focus on financial analyst, you can focus on investment analyst, very nice field. You can go for portfolio manager, you can go for wealth manager, you can go for something into the field of finance. So for that matter, risk advisory is also very important when you look up to finance roles. If you are someone who is into business, if you want to run a business, if you hold a business, you can look up to business advisory and business consulting as two major, very important fields to work as a US CMA after completion of the course. We also help all of our students with these fields only. So if in case you all are interested in any of these fields, please look up to us as you can help you with the placement assistances also. Now, what is our corporate exposure like? How does Zell help you with placements? All the companies that you see on the screen right now, for that matter, all the big fours, all the big sixes, PNB, Paribas, Anand Rathi, Motilal Oswal, HDFC, ICICI, or Citibank Securities. We have HSBCs with us. We have Anand Rathi. We have JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. We have Genpact as well, very nice name, Barclays, Accenture, you name it and we have it. So basically these are the companies who have previously also hired a lot of US CMAs from us, who are continued hiring US CMAs from us, because of course, these people are the ones who also seek quality over quantity. So for that matter, whenever a company comes to us, they give us a list of job descriptions that we give you ahead. So for that matter, if you are someone who's completed the US CMA course, you can be having a choice to have n number of job descriptions in front of you. You have to select whichever you are comfortable with, which you like. You can go ahead, tell us to be applicable in this field, and the HR of the company will directly call you up for an interview. That is basically how our corporate exposure is, and that is how our placement assistants work. So if you are interested to join any of these companies, come aboard with us and then we can help you out. With that, we come to the end of the US CMA webinar. I am here to answer any of the questions you all have. So please ask me the Q&A box and I'll be here to help you all. Any doubts, any queries, and we can unmute yourselves. You can ask me, anything will be applicable.
Yeah, I have one question, ma'am. So
Yes,
the demo
Hadi.
class is there. The demo class is there. So how long the demo class is there? Like it's a week or day or something?
A demo class is once the live lecture happens. After that, the recording that you get, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, usually like demo class will be like 6 days, 2 days, something there. Na? So you have any some category, or it will be only 1 day or some set of session?
What demo class are you talking about? Are you talking about a live lecture? Or are you talking about the recordings that you get after the live lecture?
A live lecture only.
Okay. Once your live lecture happens, let's say we have a lecture going on right now. Okay, it is for the Saturdays and Sundays batch. That will happen from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. Once it has happened, on Sunday, you will be getting the recording of the 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. lecture on Saturday. That has happened already. Okay. Now, this recording will be alive on your portal, which you can access n number of times. You can see that recording n number of times, but that will be available to your portal for 1.5 years.
Okay.
Until your access at Zell is valid, you can access that recording n number of times. And you can watch our lectures, you can download lectures once the recording comes to you. So that portal we have available for you. That's it.
Okay, got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Nirali, you want to ask me anything? Should I unmute you? Yeah. Please, Nirali, go ahead. Ask me your questions or queries, whatever you have.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Uday, do you want to ask me a question? Should I unmute you? Tell me.
I just wanted to query on the material. What material is provided by Zell? When you say like 250 hours, is it for each part or combined for both the parts?
Okay. So Uday, over here we have taken an average of the time that we require to complete the part 1 portion as well as the part 2. Okay, in combination of part 1 and part 2, if you also take the test series and mock series into consideration, 250 plus hours of learning environment is what it takes from our side to you to complete the US CMA course. Okay. Now, over here, that also depends upon students to students. I mean, people like you who are already MBA graduates might as well not just take so much time. Okay. But if you see for an average of if someone is a 12th pass student, they might as well just need more hours. So this is like an average that we have come up with. Okay. Now, coming to the material that you asked me about, we provide you with Surgent. Have you heard about Surgent? SURGENT.
Yeah, I have heard
Okay.
about it.
Perfect. So we will be providing you with Surgent material that will be hard copies for both part 1 and part 2. This will be home delivered to your house wherever you stay all over India or abroad. And we also provide you with something called as a software application that is Surgent into Zell. Okay, that is been integrated with your own learning management platform that Zell will give you. Over that, you have a live demo as to how do we answer test series, how do we answer mock series. There'll be adaptive learning given to you in that portal so that you can make sure as to attending a lot of test series and mock series, if it is a green signal for me to go ahead and write the paper, or should I study a little more and go for the next window. Okay, so that software application you have for 2 years, irrespective of whatever batch you join with us. So there will be 2 types of study material in combination given to you.
Okay, thank you. One
No
last question,
problem.
like on timings of the classes for weekdays.
Weekdays, yes. I missed that point. I'm so sorry, you guys. Weekdays, Monday to Friday will be 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. daily in the evening.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you. Any more questions, guys? Anything in the comment section, Q&A box? All answered? I am currently pursuing MCOM and distance learning. What will be fees for the CMA in total? Okay, so if you're pursuing MCOM and distance learning, one thing that you need to make sure over here is you fall under the professional category. So for you, the investment, if in case it is in EMIs, can be anywhere between 1.4 to 1.6 lakhs if you take our classes into consideration and also the teaching. Along with that, if you also take IMA body registration categories in consideration, everything will be covered in the 1.4 to 1.6 lakhs. Tanuja, yes, if you're looking for a good career opportunity, which is global and in the field of accounting and finance, just go with US CMA. That is the best course that you can look up to. Yes, Mangal, you are eligible for a job, but it is very much advisable for you to go up for a job after you complete both the parts, because only if you complete part 1, you will be like a partially placed US CMA. You rather be a fully placed US CMA after completing both part 1 and part 2. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so since we have no more questions, we'll be ending the webinar over here. Yes, Pratham, any department MBA counts. 1.5 to 1.6 lakhs for the entire course, yes. Class will be bilingual or English only. Now that depends upon the faculties. If in case you want the faculty to explain you a particular concept in your native language, if they are very okay with it, they can do so. 90% of the class, yes, will be in English. Thank you very much, Uday. It was great talking to you guys. If you all have any doubts, any queries, you can always reach out to us on this number. We will be here to help you and see you in our classes very soon. Thank you.
Thanks for the session, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you, Evhadi.